Yeah, there's one particular subject which I personally thinks very interesting. That's the corporate world. There's a lot going on in the corporate world. We had a big crisis, and we are looking for the best form of leadership and employees who are a sort of entrepreneurs. But we are struggling decades to get that. When I hear your story, your curriculum with your workshop, I think you might be a big hand for this corporate world. And I really am very curious about your opinion about it.
Okay, I think one of the issues that people are facing a lot is how to make decisions. We are so dependent on one level of the mind, which is the thinking mind. And so, we're making decisions based on pros and cons, right and wrong, cause and effect. And that's great to a certain point, but it's also limited. There's a more holistic way of connecting with the world around, which is, you could call it the higher mind. So when you're connecting to the higher mind, part of it includes intuition, but it's a very refined intuition. It's not just guesswork, it's about being able to connect with the higher force that works synchronistically. When you're working with synchronicity, what I'm talking about is things just happen in the right way, at the right time, with the right people, in some way that the rational mind cannot create. So there's another force behind us that's in charge. And if we can connect with that, and also at the same time we use the thinking mind. So there's nothing wrong with the rational mind, but bringing them together.
A shift.
And being able to flow in a way that's harmonious on a larger level.
And you think people can learn that?
I think people can learn that. It's a practice, it's an awareness, it's a skill that grows as you practice. It's also a shift of perspective, because a lot of times you're stuck in a perspective where things are in opposition with each other. And so, that's the basis of competition. And it's great to a certain extent, but then we basically kill ourselves and each other and the planet. If that's taken to an extreme. But so there's also the principle of harmony, the web of life, of creation. And so it's about balancing these. So the intuitive mind, the higher mind, as well as the rational mind, balancing each other. So then you get the job done, but you get it done in a way that supports everybody. It's a win-win.
It's a holistic way of looking.
Yeah.
Do you already see great examples of people, leadership representatives who shows that kind of behavior?
Yeah, I think so. There's a whole movement, the green business movement. One example is the Grameen movement, the micro banking system that came out of Bangladesh and now is spreading everywhere. So I think it's about recognizing that the ones that we are serving have something to offer back if it's done in a spirit of harmony. If it's not competitive to the point of destroying life, destroying the other, which unfortunately, a lot of businesses do. As profits at the expense of people. And so I think there's a possibility of having both. And then ultimately what happens, and I see this happening in many businesses, is that when people realize that this company is for people, then people end up supporting that. Because they realize that here's a company that's not just dealing with financial profits, but dealing with human resources. Humans are not just to be used, but they're a resource that can support each other and the earth. And I think that's another important piece, the earth as a living being. If we can respond to the earth as a living being rather than, the normal destruction and rape of the earth as simply a commodity, then there's there's a cycle of life. And we are part of the cycle of life.
Yeah. But Kiara, let's say a CEO understands your story and he asks you, can you make a program for me to help our company to think this way? What would you say?
Well, I'd say that let's get together and create the story. Using the intuitive mind, using our connection with the holistic understanding of life, listening to every single person, the wisdom that they have, and then it comes.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't start with the answer. The answer comes as we respect and support each other, including the customers.
Well, I'm sure one day a CEO will come to you and ask you to help him out with this theme, because the old days programs, I don't think they work anymore.
Yeah, I think that's the basis of the crisis. The crisis comes because there's too much of an extreme in one direction, which is not helping anything anymore.
Yeah.
And now it's like time to shift. So we'll see. I don't think we have too many models, but I think we can create the new models.
Great. I hope the time will come very soon when we see you busy at the corporate with your program.
Thank you. Yeah, me too.
Thank you.